Hello YouTube, welcome back. So about a week ago I found this thing at the scrap metal pit and it was a fire alarm device. So here it is. This is a Gamewell fire alarm pull station. This is not one of those master boxes. This is actually a fire alarm pull station. So this is actually just the front cover for one of them. In reality there should be like a whole box behind it with the electronics and stuff. However, this is just the front cover, and even though I can't do much with just a cover, I think I'm actually going to try to do something with this. But first, we're going to have to take it apart and repaint it. So I have this little stool thingy. I literally only use it for spray painting. As you can see, it has several different colors of paint on it, and I'm going to spray paint this thing with just regular red spray paint. So while we wait for the paint to dry, I have these scrap pieces of wood I cut, and basically I'm going to assemble them to make a little box for the Gamewell cover to mount on, and maybe I'll put a mechanism inside. So you can see I finished building that box. This is basically the point of it, and eventually I'm going to use these screws to maybe put a hinge down there so it will hinge open and closed. Alright, so here's the finished product of the front cover. It's not perfect, it doesn't look great, but it's better than nothing. Alright, welcome back. So, I didn't like how that turned out. I think the shade of the paint was not good. It was a matte finish, and I wanted a gloss finish. So what I did was I purchased some paint stripper, and I sprayed it on. And as you can see, most of the residual paint is gone, and now all I have to do is sand it, and I'm going to repaint it and hopefully not make it look horrible. Also, something I wanted to do is I wanted to paint this front door thing here white, because I think that looks a lot better. And I finally figured out how to take the door off. Apparently, this thingy isn't even a screw. It's like a rod, so all you have to do is use a little hex wrench thingy and then undo this thing on the back. And then once that's done, you can just basically just take a pair of pliers and pull as hard as you can. There we go. Holy crap. So here's that little rod. You can see that's like a place where the spring is supposed to sit. Alright, cool. So, like I said, I want this pull part to be white, so I have a can of white paint, and I'm going to go ahead and spray. While we wait for the white handle to dry, I have purchased this lovely can of paint. It's glossy, and it is the right shade this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, so yeah. Oh wow, that looks pretty nice. Alright everybody, welcome back inside. As you can see, the paint has finished drying. It's actually been over like 3 days since I finished painting. You can see this came out pretty nice. It's nice and shiny, and this I'm actually especially happy with. I used my paint marker, and I did all the fine details. It's not perfect, but it's certainly better than it was before. So now what I have to do is a very challenging part, and I have to use that rod that I took out. Here it is, and I have to feed this through this handle thing and then into there, but I also have to make sure that this spring is accounted for, so that way the handle will be, springy. Oh yes, there we go. You can see the spring has now latched on there, and that's very good. So now all I have to do is finish it off by pushing it through the other side, and hopefully, okay, there we go. Hopefully it's not too annoying every now and then to make sure it's still focused. Alright, there we go. And now you can see there is tension. You can see it will fly back and make a loud noise. So now let's move on to the internal part. Well, that took a long time. As you can see, I actually spent over an hour doing the whole hinge thing. First of all, the original large hinge I used wouldn't work, so I just used these two tiny hinges, and those are fine. Then I also installed this magnetic thing up here, and it catches onto that metal up there. So now it closes shut, and if I need to open it, sometimes it's a little difficult, so you can use a flathead to open it. But all in all, it works good. And all I have to do is put in the actual electronics. Alright, so now that we finished building the actual box thingy, I'm going to do this little contraption inside. So basically, I'm going to put a junction box inside of the actual, whatever you call it, and the catch is, instead of just having a regular old light switch in there, that's kind of boring, I'm going to try to replicate the original design as much as possible and make a little lever. Alright, so here's the finished product. Basically, It is a fire alarm box kind of thing. It's really a pretty large alarm device. However, it's not coated or anything inside. I basically just have a light switch cover. It's just a painted piece of plastic. And then I actually attached this piece of plastic to kind of replicate the actual pull lever onto a light switch. So basically, to pull it, pull this part down, and then you pull that, and there you go. Now it's activated. It is effectively just a fancy light switch, but I think it is pretty cool, and thank you for watching.